Hi, all, and welcome back to HearAdvisor, where we test and evaluate hearing aids using cutting edge science and provide realistic sound samples. Today, we are reviewing Yeasound RIC800, which was found to be a top performing product this year and ultimately received our 2025 Expert Choice Award. Today, we have a new over the counter hearing aid I'd like to talk about, and that is RIC800 by Yeasound. As I'm shooting this video, it is just hitting the market for around $6.99, and it offers many modern features like wireless capabilities, audio streaming, rechargeability, and, according to Yeasound, a new AI-powered noise reduction. RIC800 is the successor to Yeasound's RIC700 hearing aid, which, for what it's worth, was rather impressive, especially at its price point. Physically, the hearing aids look roughly the same, which isn't a bad thing as both the size and shape are well designed. The feel and look of these hearing aids is more akin to a discrete prescription hearing aid, though they are OTC. But just because it looks and feels like a prescription hearing aid doesn't necessarily mean it sounds like one. But we'll get into the audio performance in just a few minutes, and we'll also play a few sound samples so you can hear RIC800 with your own ears. RIC800 boasts several improvements over the previous 700 model, such as the inclusion of their new AI-based noise reduction as well as an automatic program mode. Now, these changes aim to make your overall experience better with clearer speech and less overall sound annoyance. But let's take a closer look at what comes with RIC800. Okay, so inside the box you'll find your portable charging case and a pair of RIC800 hearing aids. And one aspect that I definitely like about Yeasound hearing aids is that they have fairly large multi-use buttons. Now, next up, you will find various user documents, and these will help introduce you to these hearing aids, how to use them, the various functions of the buttons, the battery life, and other aspects. There are also a few cards that will walk you through how to install the associated app on your phone and then pair your hearing aids to it. Here we're looking at the domes or ear tips that come with RIC800, and there's a range from open or least occluding to power or most occluding. To our far right, we'll see some useful tools such as wax filters, an ear wire measurement tool, and a brush. Last up, we have the USB-C to USB-A charging cable. Yeasound has updated the portable charging case, and the port is now on the back of the case, as you can see here, which was a nice change from 700. Now let's talk about wireless capabilities. Yeasound RIC800 connects with both iOS and Android devices via Bluetooth and the associated Yeasound app, giving you several useful controls to personalize your sound. One highlight is the new adaptive program, and this is more in line with modern prescription hearing aids since, well, RIC800 automatically adjusts its settings based on your environment. In our testing, this new adaptive program performed well and delivered slightly better overall audio performance compared to just leaving it in a fixed program, such as Noisy. However, if you do need to use one of these dedicated programs, such as General or Noisy, you'll unlock additional sound settings, including a speech focus mode, a 3-band equalizer, noise reduction, and microphone directionality. Now, one quick note before we move on to the lab data, this video is sponsored by Yeasound, but I'm here only to present our objective testing, which is, well, objective. Now, if you'd like my more personal hands-on impressions after using RIC800, you can find that review over at hearingtracker.com. Now, if you're new to HearAdvisor, we work hard to evaluate all hearing aids on a fair, comparable playing field. We do this in our lab using industry standard tests and equipment, including my friend Kimar here. The goal is to show how devices like RIC800 may perform for a typical age-related hearing loss. We test in two ways. First, our initial fit or out-of-the-box settings, and second, with a tune fit where I make adjustments for speech understanding as I would in a typical clinical setting. Looking at the results, RIC800 performed well. It excelled in quieter environments and showed slightly lower performance in noisy situations, which honestly, this is expected since places like restaurants or cafes are the most challenging listening environments for any hearing aid. You may also notice that there is no difference between the initial and tune scores, and this is because we ran out of adjustments to make after setting up our initial fit. But fortunately, those were appropriate for our test hearing loss. Yeasound RIC800 received a sound grade of A, placing it among the top performers and earning a 2025 Expert Choice Award. Now let's take a look at amplification or gain. Our tests use the default closed domes, the high-frequency sound enhancement hearing type setting, and adaptive mode with slight volume adjustments. The gain we measured lined up closely with NAL-NL2 targets. Now, if you're not familiar with NAL-NL2, those are just guidelines used by audiologists to program hearing aids so speech sounds clear without being uncomfortably loud. For an over-the-counter device like RIC800, it's great to see that the default preset came close to this audiologic standard. Again, at least for the age-related hearing loss we focus on during testing. I'd like to pause for a moment with a quick ask. If you are finding this video helpful and the information in it useful, please consider giving us a thumbs up and/or subscribing. It really helps us keep making these videos and in general, testing hearing aids. And if you did, thank you, but let's keep going. All right, so let's check out some audio samples in a typical cafe setting. First, we'll hear what that cafe sounds like normally without hearing aids. We'll then switch to an audio sample of Yeasound RIC800. Now again, our initial and tune fits were the same for this hearing aid, so don't expect to hear a difference. But be sure to wear your best headphones, that way you can hear with the greatest detail.
Oh, I think she's so talented.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Emily's always taken her paintings very seriously.
I can tell. How long has she been painting?
She started painting around 5 years ago.
She has certainly come a long way. What are some of her other works?
Well, she generally likes landscapes like this. Sometimes, she'll paint her backyard in different seasons.
Well, she's a regular Monet.
Now let's check out the Bluetooth streaming quality. We'll compare the original audio file against the same song streamed through RIC800 captured on our mannequin. Let's wrap things up. RIC800 was found to offer good performance for a common age-related hearing loss, offering respectable amplification with only minor adjustments to the settings. This is great because sometimes we have to hunt or really massage the app to get the settings to match a common high-frequency age-related hearing loss, but that was not my experience with RIC800. This should mean better speech benefits right off the cuff. Now, if you've tried RIC800 or the previous RIC700, I'd be really curious to know how they have worked for you. Our testing is meant to emulate the audio performance an average person with age-related hearing loss may experience, but that's not everyone. So it's always good to hear from people who have actually tried these hearing aids or similar ones in the real world and how ultimately they have helped you. So if you feel like sharing, please leave me a comment. But that's a wrap for this video, so thank you for watching.